All right, here we are with our another interview with Talking Sports with the Legend. Tonight's guest is Sue Shilling. Take it away, Steve.
Thanks for doing this for me.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for having me, Steve.
Welcome. Where did you grow up?
Well, Steve, I grew up in Lakewood, New Jersey, in Ocean County, and I lived there for my childhood, and was there for my whole entire childhood in Ocean County.
Where did you go to high school?
I went to Lakewood High School.
Where
That's
did
in
you go to
Lakewood, New Jersey.
Where did you go to college?
College, I went to Rowan.
Oh, all Jersey, huh?
Yeah, I stayed in the great state of New Jersey.
Absolutely.
What was your major in college?
I majored in communications. Radio, TV, film was the specialty.
What was your first job on the radio?
My first job on the radio was at a station called WRDR, and they played big band and nostalgia, like Frank Sinatra and that kind of thing, and big band music. That was my first job on the radio.
Yeah, DJ.
Yeah, I was the overnight DJ, and then I did morning news. That was my job before WIP. I worked there, and then that station was sold and we were off the air. And then a couple months later, that's when I got hired at WIP back in July of 1999. July 4th weekend was when I started at WIP.
Awesome.
What was your job at WIP?
At WIP, I was a sports update anchor, so I would read the sports updates.
Did you ever do your own show?
Yes, yeah, I did some overnights. I used to fill in for Big Daddy sometimes, and I did some overnight the weekend ones too.
What are you doing now?
Right now, I am doing a couple things. I work on KYW News Radio. I work 4 late nights a week reporting the traffic on KYW News Radio. So I'm there now. Same company as WIP, so I'm with the company. And I also host the Everything Special Needs radio show, where you're the director of the rugby team that you play for, Steve. He was one of the interviews, so that was a cool thing. That's on Rowan Radio, and then an internet radio station called WNJHradio.net. So it's pretty cool.
What made you get involved with the special needs community?
My daughter has special needs, my 14-year-old daughter, Jessica. So I was in the community a lot with special needs, and then took the radio background that I had and got the concept for the radio show.
Well, I think it's a great idea, and it's so funny because Steven's the reason I'm interested in special needs community, and he's 36, and when he was younger, it was so funny because we got him involved in something called Fox Chase Champions, and it was they started out doing baseball, and then it grew from there, and they do indoor during the winter, and they do soccer and stuff, and oh my God, they're great people. And then he's gotten older and went into Special Olympics, and now he's involved with the rugby, and he also is involved. Did you tell her about the other thing you were involved with?
Softball.
No, AHA.
Oh yeah, that's what's up with AHA. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great guy from Montgomery County. He just stepped down. He was the president of the organization, and he gets these kids involved from young, like 5. He doesn't care how young. You could be like 6 months old and you can go to some of the events. But the older guys that are still involved with it, like Steven, they go to games, and at halftime they before the game, they introduce them to the whole crowd, and it's so neat. They get them all, and with Steven, he loves it, so he gets them all pumped up before the game with all the players and everything.
Yeah, oh, that's great. Yeah, we have a lot of the special needs leagues around here. Those people have the biggest hearts, so they do so much. Because my daughter's in the Challenger Baseball League, And then she plays in a league in Marlton, the MRC Unity Sports Unity, which just started as soccer, which is what she does. But now they've got like 8 to 12 sport. I mean, they just keep growing. And it was a kids league up to 18, but now these kids grew up, so they have an adult league now too.
That's great. Have you found a lot of different people through, the communities that you're in?
But yeah, we met a lot of people, a lot of good people through the sports leagues, the horseback riding therapies we do. Just in general, we've definitely met a lot of people. The synagogue they have a Jewish Federation of South Jersey where they do special needs services. So we've met people through that too. So it's a good community. And then doing the show, I've met a lot of people that run special needs leagues in different areas, which is good too.
Yeah, I tell you, like you said about having the heart, the one guy who started the Fox Chase Champions, it's so funny how the world works, right? He's got a grandchild now that has got special needs, a Down syndrome baby, and well, he's probably not a baby anymore. And he was one of the ones that started it, and he was a retired police officer. And a lot of people talk bad about police officers. I said, look, please don't generalize. I said, because there's so many great cops out there, and this guy was one of them. And he started it all on his own, and then he started doing the nonprofit thing, and then he started getting more and more sponsors to help them out and everything. So it's really great, really, really great. And I think so many when I was brought up, you might have had one special needs kid in the whole neighborhood. Right. And now, every 1 out of every 9 have some kind of special needs, they say. So we need more and more people like you out there helping this community to get more recognition for the stuff they do.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot out there that people don't know about, and that's one of the things why we've done this show too, is because people need the resources, and if they don't know about it, we have to do our best to get what we can out there. And then I also learn a lot of resources through the show because I meet so many good people. Like, I never knew about special needs rugby until I met you guys and your coaches, which it's great, because there's sports that people want to participate in, and it's just creating more and more opportunity, and it's creating more relationships.
Yes, they had a great event this weekend. Team came up from Washington, D.C., and then they had team from Delaware County. Yeah. The guy you interviewed, Matt, was there. And I tell you, it was a great event, and it was able-bodied rugby also. So we were watching some of that, and I'll tell you, man, it was crazy, man. The physicality of these people, and the special needs kids are, so the one team from DC that I was watching I forgot to tell you, I was watching a professional rugby game the other day, and it was neat how the kids from DC were doing what a lot of the professionals did. They lay in the ground, they push the ball underneath. Steven's team, a lot of the kids are new at it, so they just let them some of the kids will take a knee and pass it back, but Steven, most of them just pass it backwards, and it's it's so funny.
Yeah, that's
I tell you.
It's funny how much money the originals.
Yeah. Yep.
2019 started.
Yep. One of the original players.
It's good for you. That's great.
And he meets a lot of kids there, and then we tell their parents about some of the other leagues, like you said, and that's the way you got to do it. And I just feel bad for the families when they have a young kid and it's their only special needs kid and they don't know. And that's why I try to tell them when I meet them. I have a job where I work with the public, and I've been doing it for 30 years. And every time I get a chance to tell somebody about, all these different things, I tell them, go to your caseworker, ask them to get involved in helping you out. That's part of their job, and they can find you avenues to do stuff, especially exercise. I think is such a important part for a lot of these kids, because if they don't have, brothers and sisters to play with, they ain't getting out of the house in a lot of cases because the parents don't want them out and about. And I don't blame the parents, especially in the inner city, you got to worry about, watching over your child all the time.
Yeah. And with the exercise, what I'm hearing is more and more of these groups they're bringing in exercises. The schools are doing it, and then the ones that are in the adult programs, as part of the adult program, they usually have like a fitness day where they bring in groups where they do exercises. And I know the lady I work out with, she's a trainer. She goes to special needs adults and trains them every Thursday. And my daughter's only 14, so she works with my daughter individually once, and in the summer she'll be doing twice a week. So just getting that exercise in and finding the resources where it works great, the one-on-one session with her. And it's been great. She feels good physically and also mentally, getting that workout in. It's so important.
Absolutely. Yeah, when Steven told me, I said I can't wait to talk to her. I don't get involved in a lot of the interviews, but with this one, I said I definitely want to find out. And then when you said your daughter's 14 years old and got special needs, I said, well, that's great though, because we need more and more voices out there in the media. And you're doing the radio through Rowan University, which Glass Barrel, right? The old Glass Barrel, right?
Right, Glassboro, yeah.
Yeah, I was born in 1963, so it shows you how old I am. I still call it. When people come into my office and they say they went to Rowan, I say, "Oh, you mean Glass Barrel?" And they go, "Oh, they changed it a long time ago." I said, "I know, I'm hard to change."
I was there my first 3 years, it was Glassboro, and then right before my senior year, it became Rowan. So I always tell people I graduated from 2 colleges at once.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. That's great that you're working at your alma mater too.
Right, yeah, I enjoy that.
Do you have any other questions, Steve?
Did you play sports as a kid?
Yes, I played the 3 sports in high school: field hockey, basketball, and softball. My main sport was softball. That was, my best sport, and I was on the Rowan softball team as well.
Wow, how did you guys do when you were there?
It was a good team, yeah.
Did you go to the playoffs and everything?
Yeah, we did we went to the playoffs all 4 years.
Ever win?
We won the conference championship and we won the regionals when we went to the national championships.
Nice.
We lost. Yeah, we won the regionals my senior year.
Did you tell Sue and your other, when she interviewed you, did you tell her about your part-time thing there?
No.
Tell her what you do.
My sister coach, I always thought was women's soccer team.
Oh, wow. That is awesome.
What season is going to be coming up?
Well, 12.
12 seasons he's been there.
Wow.
Yeah. So he, that's, I tell you, some of the people we met there, and a lot of them, get involved, they get Steven involved with stuff they're doing. The one girl a couple years ago was coaching right near our house, and she called Steven up and said, "You want to come around, help me coach?" So, it's great because these girls, they keep in touch with him. He's, like I said, 12 years. We just went to a wedding 2 weeks ago with one of the players that we got invited to the wedding. So,
wow.
Yes.
Good for you. That's a great thing. Yeah.
That's a good question, Steve. I didn't even think of to ask her that one, right?
And then the last one, if could have dinner with
Yeah.
anybody who went to sports dead or alive, who would they be?
Did you get that? If you could have
I missed the question. What was the question?
If you could have dinner with 3 people that are alive that are involved in the sporting world, who would it be and why?
Well, the first one, he actually just passed away a few months ago, was Tim McCarver. He was my absolute favorite announcer growing up. Growing up in Ocean County, I was a Met. I'm a Met fan, and growing up as a teenager, I would listen to him every night because he did the Met game. So I grew up and I learned so much about baseball just from Tim McCarver. So definitely, I would have loved to have you said lunch with him. Yeah, absolutely. And he just unfortunately passed away, I think back in February.
Did you ever get a chance to meet him?
Not in person, but I sent him some notes, email, and he did email back. So he was a good guy.
That's
and everybody who had any interactions with him, they all said he was a good guy.
Yeah, he did Phillies baseball on TV for a while.
Yeah, so a lot of them knew him. A lot of the people from the radio station that was there before, they knew him.
Yeah. So who your other 2 you're inviting to dinner?
That I'm inviting to dinner. So these are sports people, either dead or alive. Okay.
Yeah.
Gary Carter, he was my favorite Met. So that he was definitely my favorite Met. So I would have invited him, and he unfortunately passed away. And then the third one, it gets a little bit tricky because they were all fun to to be around. But I think Keith Hernandez, I'm going back, the 80s
Uh-huh,
here.
yeah.
I think Keith Hernandez would have been a fun person to have. It seems like he'd be a good storyteller and be fun.
Yeah, yeah. We're in this episode on Seinfeld. The first guy she mentioned, Gary Carter, he was a great player.
Yeah.
I hated the teams that she loved, but I respected the players themselves. They were great players. That was the team. Lenny Dykstra was on that team.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
he came on a little later, but the first team she was referring to, the Hernandez and Gary
Mhm.
Carter and all those
Yeah.
guys. They played
Yeah.
a few years before Dykstra joined the team, but Dykstra helped them get over the hump. So
Yes, he did. Yeah.
yeah. Well, we appreciate you so much, Sue.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely going to tell everybody I know
Mhm.
more and more about everything that you do that you can get you some more viewers, but also so more people can get involved and get to see what these kids are made of. I always tell people, I said they're kids just like any other guy or girl. They got the same interests as we do. Some of them just take a little longer to learn things. That's all, right, Steve?
Yep.
And I always say you got to give them a chance, give them a chance to play, create an opportunity. And that's one of the great things about these sports leagues for special needs is it's giving these kids and adults opportunities.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. And hopefully Stephen can email you some of his people that we know in the industry of special needs.
Definitely.
And then maybe you can give some of them guys a shout out and make sure you tell them the legend sent them to you.
Yes, I'm glad I got to be interviewed by the legend tonight.
Well, thank you so much,
Thank
Sue.
you.
Okay,
really
thanks for
appreciate
having me. Okay, I appreciate it. All right, be
Appreciate
well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good job, Steve.
Mhm.